Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group. I am your host, as always, Ryan, and today we are going to be talking about Ring of Honor. And more importantly, how Bryan Danielson could be the one that could save Ring of Honor, the company. Now, what do I mean by save? Well, if you watch any of the Ring of Honor content, you know by now that Tony Khan isn't really utilising it to its fullest. You know, you've got a whole show day, you've got 2 hours a week, you've got 4 pay-per-views to do, 4 to 5 pay-per-views per year, and they're just not using it to its fullest. So you could close it down, then you've got so many talent that is mainly wrestling on Ring of Honor. So what would you then do with that talent? Would you then release them, or would you then try and bring them into AEW, which is already packed as it is and stacked? So why not use what you've already got? But it's time Tony Khan started taking a bit of a backseat in things. Like, I love AEW, I love Tony for what he's done for the wrestling business, because like, I started to fall out of love with wrestling again until AEW became a thing. But it's clear that he's got too much on his plate. You know, he's got Dynamite, he's got Collision, he's got Rampage, he's got Ring of Honor, obviously all the pay-per-views that they do. And it's time he needs to start, like, basically handing the reins off to other people. Now, he was supposed to be doing that with Stokely Hathaway and Jerry Lynn earlier in the year, but yet nothing seems to have changed in terms of Ring of Honor itself. You know, we've got, obviously, the pay-per-view is coming up tonight, Final Battle, and you haven't got a World Championship match on there. The women's will main event, which is great for Athena and for Billy Starks, but that could have main evented anyway, even with Eddie Kingston defending the belt. You know, Eddie Kingston's now involved in the Continental Classic, which for some reason he decided to put the Ring of Honor World Championship on the line in that tournament, which just made no sense. Same with the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship too. There's 3 titles now on the line in that tournament when they just really didn't need to be. They're already creating a new title anyway, so just do it as that. They didn't need all these other belts being thrown in the mix. And it's here in Ring of Honor. Now you've got the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, which obviously Adam Cole's been injured for how long, so we've had MJF defend the tag belts on his own and beat the Righteous. That backpedals them. 2 guys losing to one, doesn't matter who the one is. 2 guys losing to one is never good. So then the Righteous now have had to be rebuilt back up, and then he's tag team with Samoa Joe once. But let's be honest, why not just strip the tag belts and just say, when Adam Cole's fit and healthy again and can wrestle again, then you can step back in the ring and get an immediate shot at the belts. Like, no one would begrudge that. But at the moment, you know, we've got a pay-per-view where you've got no Ring of Honor World Championship being defended, you've got no Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships being defended. Wheeler Yuta's in a tribute match to Jay Briscoe, which is fair enough, but again, pure champion, no pure championships being defended. They only just added the 6-man tags last minute. The titles, you know, we've got TMDK versus Mel Glembassy for the 6-man belts, but there's just no direction. There's literally no direction. Even when Claudio was the Ring of Honor World Champ, yes, he would do some matches on Ring of Honor to defend the belts, but you know, he's too involved in AEW storyline. There needs to be a separation, and you've got talent now that are working more on Ring of Honor than what they are on AEW. So, like Keith Lee, man, he should be a world champion. Give him the world title. Keep him just exclusively on Ring of Honor. You've got Ethan Page, has been brilliant on Ring of Honor. Give him the television title. You know, there's you could build divisions off the backs of these people. See, the thing is you've got hardcore Ring of Honor fans who've been watching for years. Like, I've watched them for years. I watched them years and years and years ago, and then I didn't have access to them. I've probably forgot about them. I can't remember. I didn't watch them for a good period of time, and then, like, for the last 6-7 years, maybe I've watched Ring of Honor weekly, near enough all the time, apart from the last couple of months, because there's just not enough direction. There's not enough things going into it. So you can have Danielson win the tournament, become the new Ring of Honor champion, but then again, he is still involved in AEW, and he will be showing up in AEW, and he'll be defending the belt in AEW. This is why it made no sense to put all 3 titles on the line together. But we do know Danielson is coming into the last year, well, he's well into the last year now of his full-time professional wrestling contract. So he said he wants to retire from fully doing wrestling, so we expect to see him at like big shows, maybe the odd pay-per-view here and there. But he won't be full-time wrestling anymore, he's made that clear. So we know now that Danielson started going and doing a lot of backstage stuff. He's doing more of a corporate job, if you like. You know, he's doing, we've seen recently with all the memes and everything else about him finding wrestlers for what they're posting on social media. You know, we know he's worked very close with Tony Khan in the past on AEW Collision. You know, although some people have stated it's Danielson's show, a lot of people have stated it's not, it's Tony's, but Danielson does have his ear and does help him book. Why not give Bryan Danielson full control over Ring of Honor when he retires next year? Can the company continue the way it is? No, definitely not. They're losing fans, they're losing interest. You know, the pay-per-view is on Honor Club tonight, so you can sign up for a subscription, so you can pay $9.99 for a month. You get all the old Ring of Honor stuff, plus you'll get the weekly stuff, plus you'll get the pay-per-view tonight too, rather than paying the £20 just for the pay-per-view on Fight TV or Triller TVs. I think it got changed to this week. So that's a positive thing, but for me to now carry on my subscription, there needs direction. And I don't feel like this pay-per-view is going to give us any direction going forward, because the simple fact is you've got too many champions that are missing. So what actually changes with this pay-per-view? Not a lot. Like, you've got Keith Lee and Shane Taylor facing each other for nothing. They could be going for the TV title. I know there's a 5-way, but there could have been them 2 for the TV title. It could have been them 2 for the world title. You know, there's just no direction going forward. It always seems to be an afterthought. Ring of Honor now is worse than what WE has used NXT as in the last year, 2 years. So years ago, NXT used to be the greatest thing on wrestling television for me personally. Like, there was no doubt the black and gold era was phenomenal. You know, some fantastic storylines, some fantastic matches. The takeovers were just banger after banger. Like, for years, consecutive takeovers were just so good. But now most of it is just throwaway TV. It's very rare that they do stuff where it makes you, you know, look at it and go, bloody hell, that is well worth checking out. So, you know, I watched Ilya Dragunov versus Baron Corbin, which was an excellent match. Even Dominic Mysterio's match against Dragon Lee was really good, but it's not like must-see TV. It's gone back to being, at one point it could have been like a third brand. Now it's gone back to developmental with occasionally some big names appearing. Well, Ring of Honor is even worse than that. You know, it's just not doing anything. So get Danielson in, give him full run. Like, we know he loves the company. He absolutely loves Ring of Honor. He started out in Ring of Honor, made a name for himself in Ring of Honor. You know, give Danielson the company. He will restore that company back to where it needs to be. He'll put in legit ranking systems. Like, we don't need the on-screen ranking systems like what AEW tried, because we know that it doesn't work out the way you want it to, so we don't need that. But there'll at least be divisions. There's no divisions. There's literally no divisions. You know, apart from, say, like the Righteous and Butcher and Blade, what's the tag division? There is no tag division. So, like, these things need to all start now coming together to save Ring of Honor, because otherwise within the next year it's going to be closed down, because they're not making money from it. They're not selling enough tickets for the shows. They're not selling enough tickets for the pay-per-views. You know, no one's going out the way to pay for the pay-per-views, so they're putting on an Honor Club. But what's to keep you signed off for Honor Club? So, like, Ring of Honor have, what is it, 4 pay-per-views a year? I think I said 4 to 5 pay-per-views a year. So you just sign up every month. There's a pay-per-view. But for you to continuously pay for a year, there needs to be consistently good content, and there really isn't. But we know Danielson can do it. We've seen, after he's done work with Tony on Collision, we've seen the difference in the calibre and the matches and the storyline that have gone into Collision. Because yes, we know originally Collision was supposed to be Punk's show, and then obviously that didn't happen because of all the dramas and everything and the insecurities that he has and the issues he caused. But after they fired him, it was sort of like, well, what do we do with this now? Well, Danielson stepped up. So we know Danielson can do it. We know he's good at booking. We know he's got Tony Khan's ear. So Tony now has to entrust Ring of Honor, the company, to Bryan Danielson and let him run it as he sees fit. Yes, Tony can still sign off at the end of the day at the top and go, yes, this is fine. Yes, this is fine. So Tony is a good booker. You know, people go on about this Booker of the Year nonsense. It's like Wrestler of the Year, to be honest. It's all based on opinions, isn't it? You know, people are saying, oh, Tony Khan, why has he been Booker of the Year for 3 years, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, he's given us phenomenal storylines. So in the past, he's given us phenomenal matches. The pay-per-views have been phenomenal for professional wrestling. If you don't like professional wrestling, don't watch AEW. Watch Sports Entertainment, which is WWE. So we know Danielson can do it. We know Tony Khan's a good booker. So why not give Danielson full reign over Ring of Honor, and Tony Khan can help him in that respect. He can give him the full reign, and he can also still sign off on the top stuff. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is having a succession plan. Like Vince McMahon always had a succession plan. His succession plan was Triple H. Look how well Triple H has been doing in WWE. Is it perfect? No, of course it's not. But he's still running it well, and he's still making good money for the company. So, but what did Vince do? Vince allowed Triple H to create his own company in NXT within the realms of WWE. Let Danielson do the same. He could really bring Ring of Honor back to must-see TV, bring it back to making money. At the moment, it's an afterthought. It's like, oh, what are we doing with this guy? Oh, we haven't done anything for a while, so we'll just push him over to Ring of Honor and do nothing with him. All the champions from Ring of Honor spend more time, apart from Athena, spend more time on AEW TV. Samoa Joe was doing it. Claudio Castagnoli was doing it. Eddie Kingston now, after he had the big thing last year, but it was like, oh, I give up on AEW, there's too many rats, blah, blah, blah. Goes off to Ring of Honor. Now look at him, he's been Ring of Honor World Champion. He's put the belt on the line in AEW tournaments and has been on AEW TV every week. Mogul Embassy, during their 6-man tag reigns, they've literally spent their time on AEW TV. The Hung Bucks, when they won them again for like them 2 weeks, they've been on AEW TV. You know, literally, Wheeler Yuta is the pure champion. You know, fair enough, Shibata spent most of his time on Ring of Honor television as pure champion, so that's probably the exception as well as Athena. But for the most part, they're spending all the time on AEW television. Well, what's the point? Now you've just got far too many championships under the one company. You need to separate it, give it a divide, give it to Danielson, and he will show you what he can do. Same as Triple H has done with NXT. That is my full belief in how Bryan Danielson can save the company when it all started for him on major television. So let me know in the comment section, do you agree or disagree with how I feel that Danielson should be the one to take over Ring of Honor? Let me know what you think, your thoughts and feelings in the comments section below. Don't forget, as always, to like, comment, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are so close to 400 subscribers, so give it a little subscribe just before you leave, and be sure to keep an eye out for more wrestling related content coming your way soon. We're going to be having some more looking back at wrestling. We'll be doing some more top fives. We'll be doing some more wrestling figure unboxing videos, and of course, as always, we'll be doing some more WWE 2K23 matches. So thank you for watching, and come back soon.